Yo, what is up, guys? So the big Call of Duty patch has just hit. A bunch of buffs and nerfs to a bunch of different things. Let's go ahead and jump right into the patch notes. There's a lot, alright? So anyways, let's go ahead and make it a little smaller so you guys can enjoy the gameplay here in the background. But anyways, they added some gun game mode. They also changed some stuff that I would say is pretty small, like they made it so hardcore. TDM as well as Kill Confirm has 6v6. They also added a Chaos Domination to actually have TDM as well as Kill Confirm. So that's kind of cool, but I'm really here to check out the patch notes, which I'm sure a lot of you guys are excited about, which are the nerfs to the assault rifles as well as the buffs to the SMGs. But anyways, first off, they have like the first thing that they mention here is like kind of the reasoning behind it. I just want to go over what they have actually changed because, you know, it's nice to hear what they have to say. Like, for example, over here it says, we're dialing back some of the previous buffs to assault rifles to help close the gap in effectiveness between ARs and SMGs, allowing SMGs to be more effective at firing on the move. So that stuff I'm not going to cover. I'm just going to cover the straight raw patch notes, alright? I'll give you guys some of my thoughts on some of them as well. But anyways, first off, the assault rifles, all of them got nerfed, alright? All of them have this downside of slight reduction to ADS move speed across all assault rifles. They also slightly reduce the ADS in transition speed for all of the assault rifles. So you're going to be moving a little bit slower when you're going to be trying to get that snap ADS. So that basically just makes Quick Draw 2 maybe a little bit better for certain guns, but overall all of them are nerfed in that aspect. And also the ICR, which is the gun everyone wanted to be nerfed to the ground, it just has reduced headshot damage, but I'll have to test that out to see if you can still 4-shot people or if it's still always going to be like a 5-shot. Just always depends on what mode you're playing as well. But there are some changes to Battle Royale as well as Zombies as well, and I'll go over those. But ICR, just reduced headshot damage and slight reduction to reload speed. What are these numbers? I'll get you guys the information in a moment. I'll get that in a separate video, trying to go over like how many shots it takes to kill with certain guns now, depending on, you know, if you're getting headshots or not, because it doesn't say exactly what they changed with the multiplier. But as far as the Vapor, the XKG, they reduced the close range headshot damage, and the damage now falls off sooner. And also with high caliber, it reduced the headshot multiplier. Most of the things in this game used to be like 1.7 on the assault rifles with the high caliber, but now it's reduced. So it says eliminating the possibility of a 3-hit kill. I'm guessing those are multiple headshots. With the SMGs, it says mobility is a primary strength, blah blah. We're just interested in what happened to change. So the MX9, they actually extended all the damage ranges, so that's a buff. The high caliber attachment, it says it reduced the headshot multiplier, eliminating the possibility of a 4-hit kill. So that's actually a nerf to one of the submachine guns. The Corda has extended all damage ranges, but the operator mod, it says increased overheat rate. So that should be technically a nerf. It says increase the heat rate. What that sounds like is it makes it so it overheats faster, but sometimes with wording, you know, it can get confusing. They really need to specify if this is a buff or a nerf, but I want to say that this should be a nerf because it increased the overheat rate, unless that increases the maximum amount that it can actually build up as far as heat goes. As for the GKS, the quad shot operator mod got nerfed. It says slight time increase in between the burst. So that should be straight up a nerf to the GKS over here. Anyways, next up though, with the SOG, they reduced the hip fire accuracy when you are dual wielding. This was an issue I saw that people on Reddit were complaining about over in the PC community, how apparently this gun was really OP, but honestly, like, just people will complain about anything that are just scrubs and they wouldn't actually play in like League Play or something like that. It's just something that it doesn't really have really good range anyways, and ARs are really dominant still in this game, even with these changes, by the way, guys. Anyways, as far as the tactical rifles, they buffed the ABR. So it's supposed to be more competitive with the other tactical rifles while stepping down its operator mod to keep it from being a crutch attachment. But that was the only thing that made it good, and it still wasn't even that good. So they extended the maximum damage range for the ABR. They also made it so the repeater mod now takes longer to accelerate fire rate, which is a nerf. Stock got slight reduction in movement speed bonus, so that's straight up a nerf. And then the laser sight 1 and 2 have improved hip fire accuracy, so the ABR will be better when you're hip firing. I just don't think that's not what you would be looking for when you're going to be running a tactical rifle in the first place, to have quick laser accuracy. That's when you're basically hip firing. Anyways, I don't know. I really don't think that's going to make the gun more viable. But as far as the swordfish goes, high caliber reduced the headshot multiplier, eliminating the possibility of a 3-hit kill. This is one of my favorite guns in the game, and obviously with all the changes to the ARs, this could make this gun even better. By the way, for those of you guys that are wondering, you know, after the ICR nerf, is it still good? I think it's still good, alright. But a lot of people are basically saying the Maddox is one of the best guns. Now, this change has gone through. In addition to that, Maddox is one of the best guns anyways. I just uploaded a video recently talking about the best gun in the game. So if you guys haven't seen that, I'm going to have that in the pinned comment section below. So you guys can go ahead and read that if you guys are interested in checking that out. But as far as the Pentaburst, they reduced the extra clip size that was granted when you had the operator mod. This is technically just double nerfs on the swordfish, but I'll have to see if you can still like basically get 3 bullets on someone and then 1 headshot to see if you can still one shot, which is still the most important thing. As far as the sniper rifles, this is actually something that's interesting. They actually buffed pretty much everything except for the Paladin. They also got a small nerf to the Paladin, but anyways, as far as the changes with the Paladin, which is the sniper rifle that everyone really uses, it says high caliber 2 hitting the lower torso on a full TAC 5, that's when you get boosted up to 200 HP, it will no longer be a one-hit kill. Also with FMJ2, it says improved damage against score streaks, so that's kind of nice. And then Stabilize 2, player can now hold breath sooner after the previous hold breath. So technically, these are both double buffs, but as far as Crash, if he buffs everybody up, you're not going to be able to one-hit them in the lower torso region with the Paladin. But not really any nerfs here. But anyways, they also wanted to mention here, they removed turn sway when aiming down sights on all sniper rifles to better ensure the weapon reticle stays centered while turning. That was just one global thing that they did with the sniper rifle. So sniper rifles straight up got a buff over here. And they also they upped the damage, but each one is different. So anyways, as far as the Outlaw, gains an extra 20 damage, they reduce the idle sway of that gun, and they increase the base movement speed. And then Stock, slight increase in ADS movement speed bonus. The SCM actually increased the clip size to 2, that's the auto sniper, no one really ran that anyways. And then it reduced idle sway. The Koshka got improved damage by another 20, and it says with Stock, slight increase ADS movement speed bonus. As far as the LMGs go, the Titan actually got nerfed. It has reduced headshot damage. So basically, there's a lot of nerfs to headshots across subs and also the ARs, and again with the LMGs. And that also reduced the hip fire accuracy. So Stock, reduce ADS movement speed bonus. And then for the VKM, reduce movement speed while firing, and then also reduce the damage slightly. The Fat Barrel Operator mod reduced bullet tracer size. That's basically visuals, alright? That doesn't actually affect the game. A tracer bullet is just like visually where it goes. But Hades actually got a pretty big nerf here. The Crossbar Operator mod reduced movement speed and accuracy. So I previously made a video talking about all the operator mods. This actually got a nerf here, and you're not going to be able to strafe as much, but they buffed it in another area where it says steady grip, improved recoil mitigation. So it should give you better recoil, but again, some of these wordings like improved recoil mitigation. Again, if someone could correct me if I'm wrong on that, but it should be improved recoil mitigation. So improved sounds like it should be better. As far as the pistols go, they had a slight reduction in ADS and transition speed for all of the pistols in the game. So pistols just took straight up a nerf over here with the RK7. Increased time between the bursts and slight reduction to reload speed. This is really the only gun people use in competitive anyways. But if you're swapping to it, I mean, the one burst is the most important thing anyways. And on top of that, the ADS is also reduced. But nonetheless, just a straight up nerf to pistols. As far as the shotguns go, straight up nerfs with the choke barrel. This is the MOG 12, the one that you normally one-shot people with. It's going to have the one-hit kill range reduced, so that's a nerf. Dragon's Breath, this is just like sound effects. There's a lot of sound effects that are going to be patched in here. Yeah, that also got changed. The SG-12, the strobe light, addressed an issue with the strobe light where it would remain on after that. That's a bug fix. And they're doing a live update soon to reduce the range at which strobe light interferes with the enemy aim, because that's something I didn't actually know about, but that's going to be updated later down the line. Alright, Grip 2. This is another nerf to the ICR, because the ICR, everyone plays with Grip 1, 2 quick draw, alright? But they reduced the ADS flinch mitigation, so that reduced means it's going to make it so it's a nerf. With the suppressor, they reduced the fall-off ranges. With the holographic sight, they reduced the ADS recoil. Same thing with the dual optic zoom and the recon. So all of these are a lot better now. So if you guys were previously running like ELO or something, maybe try out one of these. Because ELO got a nerf over here, guys. It says slightly increased ADS recoil. As far as the specialists go, Ajax, they made it so the explosives now partially damage to the front of a deployed ballistic shield user. So basically, it's going to be easier to potentially kill them if you know, they have that shield up. And then also made it so ballistic shield now takes longer to earn. As far as Nomad goes, they reduced the K9's health by 10%. As far as Crash goes, the teammate used pack, it used to give you plus 50, but it's going to be plus 25 right now. Next up, for Firebreak, they increased the Purifier Flame damage to be guaranteed eventual kill against a player who doesn't have Tactical Mass equipped. But honestly, you're not going to be able to heal for so long anyways, you might as well just call it and just reset. As far as Recon goes, they actually nerfed Recon. They reduced the sensor dart duration. The other issue is just a bug. Again, the top note over here is just going to be like what they were thinking when they actually changed it, which I like that they add. But again, since this video is more educational based, we're just going to go ahead and go over what they actually changed. And then Torque actually got a change as well. They increased the earn rate for Barricade, and then they increased the hit points of Barricade. And they also addressed an issue that prevented TACCOM from telling the player that the Barricade was taking damage. So again, that's just a small little issue here. Profit, which is the Tempest here. Let me actually roll back the video because there are a lot of patch notes in this video. But anyways, as far as Profit goes, what they changed with him is the Tempest. That's the lightning gun that would shock you. But they buffed it up. They increased the projectile speed. They increased the Tempest chain distance. So you're going to be able to chain people a little bit further away. So that's really cool. Definitely a nice little change there. And then they also resolved an issue where being hit by an explosive charge would disable the Tempest charge, preventing from further arcing. But obviously that's going to be fixed. The next thing, it's just a bunch of spawn adjustments here. Like I said, I'll leave the full patch note down below. This is for 1.04 for Black Ops 4, but basically they just improved the spawns for these specific maps. Again, like it's just Summit, Slums, Militia, Firing Range for TDM, and then for Domination, Icebreaker, Contraband, Hacienda, Payload, Gridlock, Slums, Summit, Militia, Jungle, and Firing Range. Because I'm sure a lot of you guys have complained about spawns. I myself have also complained about spawns. But again, these are just spawns that they've changed. It's not really anything that I think is super important to go over, other than just mentioning that the spawns are going to be much better. Alright, so gear is the next thing we're going to be talking about. So Stim Shot. Increased time to fully heal the player. This sounds like a nerf to me. It's an increased time to get you to fully be healed, right? But anyways, yeah, that's just a nerf to Stim Shot. And then Armor. Alright, so they resolved an issue where Armor was protecting more damage than intended. Which I know it sounds terrible, but it's only when you're running things that have high caliber 2 that would do more damage to the upper chest, so it would actually prevent more damage. I think the gun that most people used high caliber 2 on was pretty much the Scar, which is the Rampart 17, but yeah. So that's basically going to make that gun a little bit more consistent here, because they're going to fix that issue. The acoustic sensor actually got another nerf, because remember how, guys, I said it got nerfed, and I'm like, guys, the nerf isn't even that bad. Well, they decided to nerf it again. Anyways, reduce the range at which sprinting enemies are detected. So, yeah. Dead Silence actually got a nerf over here. So it says, reduce player movement, volume, and distance that the players equipped with Dead Silence can be heard by enemies. The intention of Dead Silence is not to be completely silent, but also not allow enemies to hear your movement from longer distances. So basically, Dead Silence, it's really bad in this Call of Duty compared to the previous one. Previously, no one would be able to hear you, which I kind of preferred. Especially with the ADS changes, a lot more people are going to be sitting down in head glitches, which technically makes the Swordfish even better here. But anyways, next up for Engineer, it says Extraction Helicopter and Heist will no longer be highlighted by the Engineer perk. So that's technically a nerf. The resolved an issue where the Mantis would go outside of the bounds and it would just be destroyed instantly. It's more so an AI thing, but nonetheless, it's technically a buff to the Mantis. As far as the dart goes, they increased the explosion radius and damage, and players can now use a second dart when earning 2 dart score streaks, when overlap, I'm guessing. As far as the strike team goes, there's a bug where you're able to contribute towards the kills without dying medals, so it's just less XP if you happen to pop strike team, because that would technically give you something that you weren't supposed to get. As far as the gameplay goes, they reduced the ranges required for the long shot medals for basically everything in the game. And they also resolved an issue where the hard stop challenge could reset before reaching 300. A lot of these are just little like small changes, increased XP. A lot of these are bugs that are being fixed. Also, they changed some things on maps to adjust the cover areas to discourage players from spawn camping. They also added cover to the lower respawn side. And then as far as slums go, they adjusted cover pieces, again, is to prevent players from spawn camping. And then map fixes to make it so people couldn't go under the map, but that's, again, smaller things that most of you guys probably didn't really notice too much. Some people would go under the map and shoot you. It's just a change to that. Every Call of Duty game has that in the first few days. Changes to Blackout, though. They also changed a lot of the audio issues to be, like, muffled and stuff. But these, I'm sure I'll have to update in another video because obviously we're gonna have to like go test it, especially in like Blackout when there's like a lot of levels above and below you. I wish they had like a custom game for Blackout so you can test these things, because it's kind of difficult to test some of the audio issues without having a controlled environment. But anyways, next up with Blackout, they added a 100-player solo, so that's kind of cool. They also adjusted an audio issue to make it so friendlies are going to be a lot less noticeable with the footsteps, so it makes it a little bit quieter for your friendlies. And then a lot of the stuff is like audio issues and bug fixes, which I'm not going to go over like the bug fixes because it's just like stability issues across the board for like most of the things anyways. But armor. Armor allows more damage to pass through to areas of the body that have damage multipliers, such as the head or upper chest. For example, headshots now do more damage against level 3 armor, so that's technically a nerf to level 3 armor, but allows more damage to pass through, which theoretically makes it so if you kill someone, you have a better chance of picking up their armor. But again, it's so hard to test these things without going into a very specific and controlled environment. But I'll try to get that footage. Hopefully they will allow us to have like a playground mode similar to Fortnite to test these things. It's just too difficult. Anyways, so it says character missions unlock remaining specialist character missions for the rest of the game. That's kind of cool. There's item found, notifications, a lot of UI changes. But again, I would say these are small, and if you guys want to read all of them, I just kind of want to cover stuff that most people want to just check out real quick. They increase the XP rate for actually across the board on everything for the player battle pass. But anyways, that's kind of cool. And they also addressed issues where like some portals remain. I'm not a zombies guy, so I probably couldn't give you guys good feedback on this kind of stuff. But a lot of the miscellaneous issues, fixed exploits, and stability issues with the game crashing. In fact, last night I still crashed. It's probably going to be an issue that will eventually be fixed, I hope, in the future with Call of Duty Black Ops 4. But there's so many issues with the stability. But little miscellaneous things with like camos would overlap on weapon optics. Things just not applying correctly in the game. But they're just really small. But I think the most important thing was really to go over the AR nerfs and the buffs and the big patch that was supposed to come this week. I believe this is it. I doubt they're changing anything. But here's my overall thoughts on this. If you guys are wondering, what are your thoughts on it? Obviously, the ICR is not as good, but I technically thought the Maddox was one of the best guns in the game. Anyways, so guys, check the pinned comment section because it's probably going to be easily one of the best guns in the game now. Even with the nerfs to the ICR, it just makes the gun better. And arguably, a lot of pros that were playing the game, they were technically running the Maddox over the ICR. But there are certain instances, especially on head glitches, where you would not be able to challenge with a Maddox just because of the way that the gun's recoil works. It pretty much just drags up. But the Swordfish is definitely, like, it got some nerfs, but it makes it better because, again, you're going to be able to compete with those ARs because they're not going to be able to snap ADS. Because remember, the tactical rifles didn't get a change. It was just the assault rifles. Even though this is kind of like the M8 of, the Black Ops series, it definitely didn't get a nerf, so I don't know. It's going to make it better. I'm going to get you guys some more gameplay in the future. Also, they added gun game. I'm going to be uploading gameplay of that very soon, guys. But anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed the vid. If you're new to the channel, definitely give me a follow on Twitch if you'd like to see some live gameplay. I'm going to be testing out everything tonight on the live stream. We're going to be just melting people. Dude, look at that Swordfish. The gun is an absolute beast. And again, it only gets better with these changes because the ARs got nerfed. Technically, the submachine guns also got nerfed as well, because if we go back to these patch notes, right? Because they're supposed to buff the SMGs, but like they nerfed the SOG, they nerfed the GKS. All they did was extend the damage ranges of the Cordite and the MX9, which weren't considered like S tier guns by any means. If you guys noticed, the people that are doing relatively well, or even playing competitive, most of them are only using the SOG. They're not doing the dual wield anyways. And like Spitfire does have a lot of competition with a lot of the good guns in the game. Like it can definitely give them a run for their money. But overall, I don't think this makes SMGs good. I think that this is still not a big enough buff for them. I'm going to be giving you guys gameplay and I'll test it out. But I still think the ICR, the Maddox are still going to remain the kings of the game. But definitely the Swordfish is going to be a little bit better now with these changes. Even though it got nerfed, that's a pretty big deal to nerf the ADS. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, drop a like on it. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. We'll always update you guys the moment new Call of Duty stuff comes out, especially with the patch notes. Peace out, guys. Have a good one. And I am signing out.